Hi, and welcome to STR Wealth Academy YouTube channel. I'm Katrina.
Michael here.
And we are the co-creators of STR Wealth Academy, everything short-term rentals for long-term wealth. Let's get into it.
Now in this video, what we want to show you is we want to introduce a concept that Katrina and I have been toying around with for some time now. And just to give you some backstory on this, when we first started our journey into short-term rentals and Airbnbs and getting started, we had this conception and notion that we were going to build this massive portfolio, have literally hundreds of listings, and we just had this illusion that more was always better. We got started back in October of 2018. That's when we acquired our first listing. Year after year, we continued to grow, and then something happened right around the 60-ish property mark that really started to
cave everything in. It was quite a wake-up call for us. It's just, we thought, hey, you know what, we got a system, let's keep scaling, let's keep growing, let's get more and more. The more properties, the better. And then it really came to a halt when it came to a place where we're like, this is too much. It is, more is not better. It's like, why are we doing this only for a few $100s per property per month? Or it just didn't really make sense. The math wasn't mathing when we got to that point.
And the reason why we kind of started this to begin with was because a lot of people in the space at the time, they just talked about how big their portfolios were, how much they were growing. And to be honest, we kind of got captured in that line of thought. But what ended up happening was, the thing is, when you have more properties to manage and more properties in a short-term rental portfolio, it's just more of everything, right? You have more guests checking in, you have more checkouts, you have more supplies that are getting consumed, you have more maintenance issues that come up, you have more guests that you need to make happy.
More supplies, more staff, more everything, more bookkeeping. It literally just all adds up. And there's only so many hours in a day when it comes down to it.
What ended up happening was we had to increase our team, and then overhead went up. We were reflecting on it. It's like, well, we got into this so that we could have more free time, be able to do the things we wanted to do, and then eventually turn into the Frankenstein business. It felt like more than our full-time job. Probably put in 50, 60 hours a week, even more so.
Training, coaching, creating SOPs, creating this kind of huge operation in business. And we're like, what is going on, right? It honestly became overwhelming. And then we really took a look at our books, right? We took a hard look at it. We're like, what are we trying to do? Obviously separate ourselves from them, like our business, right? So that it operates itself. We had a lot of software as team members, but we're like, we got to make sure the margins are there. But what is actually working? That's when we really took a look at our books and said, hey, what's the 80-20 of our business, or what the 20-80? Like, what's that really good portion of our portfolio that's running, and why?
One of the concepts we like to always talk about with our clients is we call the headache to income ratio. We want to find a business or a mix in our portfolio where we find properties that take the least amount of effort to run, make the most amount of money, and we can create really incredible experiences for our guests that come and book at our property. This is where we really landed on the idea that it's more about quality than it is quantity. And in today's video, what we want to show you is how just a few small handful of properties can literally replace a 9-to-5 working income, and show you exactly how you can go and do the same thing.
I think it's a huge concept. You're closer than you think to retiring from your 9-to-5 with only that few select properties. What do we mean by only that few select properties? You have to make sure you're in the right market. You're making the right income from those. What design do you have with that property? What kind of amenities are you offering? What number of heads and beds? What makes you different from every other property in the short-term rental market? This is massive, because even in our own short-term rental market from 2018, we looked at this, and our short-term rental market has tripled in even the last few years. And for us, our occupancy is between 85 and 95%, and we command that higher income. But you have to be able to separate yourself from the hosting herd and have that higher income. When you have those select few properties, you can retire off of that alone. You can build and scale, of course, with the right systems and team members like we've done, but even the first few can really make a big difference.
What we want to do next is we want to show you guys just an example of just 3 properties in one of our portfolios that, even if we did nothing else, we didn't have our management business, we didn't have our cleaning company, like literally if we did nothing else, we would be absolutely totally fine. So let's go take a look. What you're looking at now is just 3 properties that, like we said, in one of our portfolios, and we want to show you exactly how these 3 properties literally replace what Kat and I used to make at our 9-to-5 jobs. Just to give some context, when we first started, we started back in 2018. We started with rental arbitrage, which is something we talk about a lot on this channel. We then morphed more into a management company. And then as we were making income from that portfolio, we then started to acquire listings that we owned ourselves, that we had obviously full control over.
We like to call these lifestyle assets. This market is in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. We absolutely love going there. It's a few hours away from our hometown, and we wanted to own property there. Quite a barrier to entry to get in. It's a very competitive market. I believe there's over 4,000 short-term rentals and is a population of 10,000 people. It's highly competitive coming into this. And we just reinvested in our own business and really just bought properties that we absolutely loved. But while we weren't there, it was making money. So with these 3 properties, not only do we get to enjoy them, we also make such an incredible income off of them that we're able to live off of it, and it has replaced our 9-to-5.
Just to give some context, this was our first property that we purchased in this market. It was a 2-bed, 2-bath condo. Purchased it for around $530,000. We'll get into the numbers in just a sec in terms of what it's been able to earn, but just to kind of show you behind the scenes here. So in order to stand out and compete in this market, a few things we did. We started incorporating, different feature walls. So this is the cover photo. It's the first photo that you see on the listing. Obviously, it grabs your attention and stops the scroll, so to speak, right? Because it's just kind of unique. This is like a mountain town. It fit with the theme of the area, but then also fit with the theme of the decor and the design that we went with here. A few things we started doing a lot more feature walls in our properties. We're starting to get nighttime shots showing just different times of the day, sets the scene and the experience. This is something we started doing in our properties more recently too, where you can scan a QR code and get like a virtual tour. So you can actually see the property before you actually book it. But just to give you guys an idea, like we invested a lot in terms of the design, in terms of the amenities.
Photos, the look, everything.
This is literally the view out of one of the windows, unobstructed mountain view. So it's pretty incredible. To give you guys an idea what you can do with the overall design and amenities when you're setting these listings up.
Our second listing that we got was a beautiful townhouse in the same town, the Mystic Chalets. In this one, we really went heads and beds. So that higher space that we can have more people in there. Still a 2-bed, 2-bath unit, but we were able to sleep 10 compared to the 6 on the previous one. And this one was really unique. We did bunk beds on it. It's at 2 levels, so we're able to really expand with that in a pull-out couch, and we just really made sure we were able to host more people, and that created such a higher income for us as well. Here we went all out. We did a full renovation on this one, heated floors, we did a new paint job, made it family friendly. It's one of the largest pools, actually outdoor pools in the market here in Canmore as well. And we just really wanted to showcase and market it towards family, our avatar of who we want to host here and those kind of groups.
The third listing here is actually a townhouse. This one was a 3-bedroom unit though. This property had an especially large outdoor patio area, which is pretty rare for this market to find. We really went all out in making the patio super inviting. We got a huge lounger set, a nice fire table, obviously some string lights here. We took kind of twilight photos just to make it really stand out. But again, all we've done is we've just followed a process and a formula. We bought properties in an area that we loved and we loved to go to.
The numbers made sense, the ROI, and we reinvested. We didn't just put up a listing and let it go, because that's something very unique, and you're going to see quite a bit in these vacation type markets, especially mountain towns, ski towns. You're going to see these are kind of the OGs, the originals of vacation rentals, and they all look the same. They have all the same furniture, they have all the same looks on it, and it really becomes a price to the bottom, a hunt to the bottom, and you have to do something different to stand out and separate yourself from that hosting herd. Fire tables, nighttime shots, amenities. What makes you different from everyone else that someone's going to pay a premium rather than the guy next door?
So let's dive into the numbers now. These are numbers from the start in the last 6 months of what these properties have been able to do. We're recording this in November. Now it is, the timeline for this is from May until the end of October. Okay, so about a 6-month period. Okay. So on that first property, we showed you that 2-bed, 2-bath condo. It pulled in just over $80,000 for top line revenue. The second property was about $111,000. The third property was just shy of $120,000, $119,000 and change.
All 3 garnered over $312,000 in just 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you look at that, that's 3 properties, that's over $300K. And even in 6 months, we could live our 9-to-5 in that, not even a year. And you can really start seeing here, this is what this market can generate, and the higher heads and beds, and obviously what we reinvested into these units have well paid itself back.
Top here, this is showing all the different income line items, because we don't just advertise on Airbnb. We're actually in a lot of different areas that people can book with us. Here are the different fees of the commissions that these sites take. So again, this gets pulled off. Here's the mortgages on these properties here. Okay, obviously we have cleaning staff, maintenance, supplies that we need to pay for, bank charges, bookkeeping software, insurance on these properties. All told, with all of those expenses added up with all the utilities and everything else, the first property pulled in a profit of over $45,000 in just a 6-month period of time. The second one was just under $60,000. And the third one is just under $65,000.
Not what you make, it's what you keep, guys. This is what's under the hood here. You can see our exact expenses.
Yeah.
And we generated $168,000 net in our pocket after 6 months. So that's about $28,000 net profit per month in our pocket after all expenses paid. As that back end look, it's right in our books in one of our portfolio properties of 3 units that we own. You can see exactly what it's generating, how they look, and how we could easily retire just off of those 3 properties alone. When you're looking at getting into short-term rentals, you don't need this huge portfolio of hundreds and hundreds of properties. It's really quality over quantity.
So if you like this content and you want to be made aware the next time we post a video, just go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell. so you're made aware anytime we release new videos. If you want more specific information on how to build a short-term rental business, we have a link in the description where you can join a free community where we will show you step-by-step how to get your first property up and running in under 30 days. Hope you like this content. Again, the whole point of this video was to show you that you don't need a huge portfolio in order to replace a working income. It really just comes down to getting into the right kinds of properties, setting them up properly, designing them well, and giving an incredible experience for your customers. That's it for now. We'll see you in the next video.